Alright, what is up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris and today I am back with another Flyers versus Islanders game review, the second game of a back-to-back, and the Flyers pick up another overtime win here at 4-3 Sunday night. And you know, this was a game where honestly, the Flyers actually played pretty good in this game. I'll say that. I honestly thought it was one of their better efforts. Took them a little bit to get into the first period. Second period, very good, really good job late in the first period to kind of carry that over. And honestly, third period was a little iffy, not a great period at all, kind of terrible to be honest. But they ended up pulling out a win in overtime, and they pick up 4 points. And you know, as I predicted, they would go 3-4 in the last 4 games. They ended up going 4 for 4. So again, not complaining at all. You know, they pick up eight of a possible 8 points in the last 4 games. So again, really good to see this team starting to pick up some wins now, and kind of keep this string going, going into the second month of the season. So they finish off January with 10 games. They finished off 7-1. I mean, that's a pretty good record, to be honest. Very good record to start the season. And honestly, I know we've talked about it before. They don't look like a 7-1 team. They haven't really played like that. But I think it's getting there. I think for the most part tonight, you kind of saw, how the Flyers want to kind of play in going into this next stretch of games. Talked about it earlier on the podcast, how pretty much this next stretch is essentially huge for this team because you have a lot of games coming up against teams in your division. Obviously, I know that I say teams in your division when you're only playing teams in your division. But what I mean to say is top teams in your division, teams that are right there with you, neck and neck. Flyers are now tied for first place with the Capitals with 15 points. They've played 10 games. Capitals have played 9. They're 6-0-3, 15 points. Flyers are 7-2-1, 15. Boston, 8 games played, 5-1-2. Penguins are 5-3-1 with 11 points. The Sabres and Devils are right there with 10, and then the Islanders and Rangers are at the bottom with 8 points and 6. So pretty tight division early in the first month, and again, it's definitely what we expected. Very tough division. So the Flyers, after the first month, they're tied for first place, and honestly, listen, you're going into these next few games. You got Boston on Wednesday, Boston again on Friday, and then the Caps on Sunday and Tuesday. So this stretch of games, these next 4, is really going to show you kind of how this team's going to play out for their season. I think it's a very important stretch. Then they'll go on to face New Jersey, then the Rangers, Boston again, and kind of going down in the schedule there. But tonight's game, a little bit different. You had, obviously, switches in lineup. I talked about last game. Konechny was back in. Avey said that in the post-game presser. Hag in for Gustafsson, Moose in net, and Sorokin in for the Islanders. Flyers wore their alternate black jerseys tonight. Lines, you have Lindblom with Hayes and Konechny, Giroux with Patrick and Voracek, Farabee with Lawton and JVR, and Raffle and Bunneman with Aube-Kubel. Defense was Provorov, Gostisbehere, Sanheim and Myers, and Hag and Braun. First period, turnovers again early, too much time in the own zone. Had to move it out quicker. Islanders were getting in there. They were forechecking well. Flyers ended up taking a penalty here. Islanders power play 17-22. Provorov cross-checked. Flyers killed off. Few shots for the Islanders. Flyers were very patient, and they killed off 10 straight penalties after that penalty kill. Konechny looked pretty good earlier. Elliott had a beautiful glove save on Barzal in a partial 2-on-1. Moose definitely kept the Flyers in this game early. First 6-7 minutes, right before the first TV timeout, which is usually around the same time. All Islanders early. Shots were 7-1. New York at the first TV timeout, and Elliott was making his saves. Definitely kept the Flyers in. A couple shots on the power play, a couple one-timers from Pollock. As I said, Barzal had that 2-on-1. Moose definitely looked sharp early. His rebound control was pretty good. The Flyers had a really nice shift from the connecting line, getting some ozone pressure, leads to Giroux drawing a penalty. Flyers get a power play 9:42. Voracek robbed by Sorokin. Unbelievable glove save. Literally the only spot that Sorokin essentially had to move his hand is where Jake shoots. It's like so unlucky, but it's a great save at the same time. Horrible 5-on-3 for the Flyers. They get a 5-on-3 here for a minute 17. Terrible. I don't even think they had a shot on goal. They had one shot, and it was a Voracek chance, which was a 5-on-4. They passed the puck too much. The Islanders were, it seemed like every time the Flyers touched the puck, they flubbed it, and it was just like they couldn't do anything with it. And when they did, they were just throwing it on the wall, throwing it around the wall, and there was just no play there. So pretty bad 5-on-3. And then the Flyers end up taking a penalty. Islanders power play, Hag slash on Barzal at 5:34 left. Islanders with some chances. Giroux spring Hayes on a breakaway, hits a crossbar. Jake had some really nice work in the corners to set up some zone time. And then the third line, the Lawton line with Farabee and JVR, they do some great work behind the net. They're centering, they're getting in there, they're getting pucks deep, they're working in the corners. It seemed like that's what the Flyers were really doing, because the Islanders clogged up essentially everything. They really had no time to do anything in the first period. And when they did, JVR forces a turnover along the wall, play goes up, Farabee, he gets the shot, he snipes it over Sorokin's glove, and it's a 1-0 Flyers lead with a minute 18 left in the first period. As I said, Lawton line, really good ozone pressure. JVR made a really nice play to poke it. Farabee snipes it. Two really good shifts late in the ozone that leads to pressure and leads to the goal, and it's a 1-0 game right there at the end of the period for the Flyers. It was a pretty good period at the end. As I said, Elliott kept the Flyers in it early, and that's what you need. It's not like, Elliott isn't part of the team or anything, so it's good to get some goaltending like that, For the most part, he kept them in it, and the Flyers, they played better late. Forechecked a lot better late in the later stages of the period. Shots on goal after the first were 13-6 in favor of the Islanders. Start of the period, a lot of penalties in this one. There were 4 in the first 9 minutes of the second. Islanders power play, Patrick hooking at 19:35, and they ended up scoring. Shot from the point, it looked like it was tipped in, but it wasn't tipped in at all. Letty shot off the post. It literally looked like it was either on the ice or kind of just dipped down a little bit. Off the post, off back of Moose's skate, pad, whatever, and just trickles in, and it's a tie game. Flyers come right back down, that same line, Farabee. He scores his second of the game. Farabee ended up getting a hat trick, and this one gets one later in the period. His second of the game here at 17:41. Really nice shift from the Lawton line. Again, great passing. Myers over to Sanheim, down low, actually over to Farabee, down low to JVR, and then back to Farabee in the slot. He snipes it. And again, it was just a great shot. Really nice setup there from JVR too to kind of find it. He didn't really have any other play. I was happy he just kind of sent it right to Farabee. Quick one-timer, and the Flyers get the goal right back. Hayes draws a penalty, hold almost on a breakaway. The Flyers, they ended up getting a power play. Hayes hit the post off of a setup, and then Sanheim ended up taking a penalty because Moose kind of lost the puck behind the net, and then they kind of got confused a little bit. 4-on-4 for 31 seconds. Moose had a really nice save on Lee, slid over, and the Flyers ended up killing that one off. Konechny hit a post off the stretch pass, so 2 posts in this period for the Flyers. This was a really good second period from the Flyers. Definitely their best second period of the season so far, I will say that. Patrick ends up taking a penalty. Again, his second, he kind of got boned on this one. 11-10 left. Flyers were clogging up a lot on the penalty kill. Everything at the blue line was essentially taken away from New York. Raffle had a mini breakaway, saved by Sorokin, but overall Flyers killed that one off. Really good pace after the penalty. Back and forth hockey each way. After this, they didn't call another penalty until the third period. Flyers get one here. They get another rush from that line. It's a 3-on-2. Myers joins the rush. Looked like it was a play. It essentially just came right out at the wall, right, pretty much right above the red line. Flyers kind of come in, they drop it back to Myers, waits for the guys to get to set up shop in front, and Farabee ends up getting the goal. Looked like we either went off his stick, maybe his shin pad or his leg. Nevertheless, it's a 3-1 Flyers lead with 4:08 left. And again, Farabee was definitely playing like a veteran tonight. He's playing with 2 veterans in Lawton and JVR. One thing he kind of talked about in the first period interview he had on NBC Philly. And as they were broadcasting the game, and I was talking about this with Yariv, he said, I said it too, I was like, he's playing like Gagne, like he was reminding him of Gagne, and I kind of thought the same thing. I was like, he's kind of playing like Gagne, and he really was. I thought it was a great night for Farabee. He looked very good, very confident with that line. He was shooting from all cylinders. He sniped a couple goals. He looked very good tonight, and he gets a hat trick. And he is the first player before the age of 21, to record a hat trick since Mike Richards did in 2006. And again, really solid period for the Flyers overall. They generated chances. They pretty much carried the play on offense for the most part. Lawton line was getting the goals. It was a better period on the defensive side. Few turnovers, few hiccups here and there, but overall really good second. Shots on goal in the second period were 12-9 in favor of the Flyers, 22-18 New York overall. Around this time last year, it took JVR 28 games to tally 12 points. He's got 12 points in 10 games. So it took JVR, 4 games less than half of that total last year to get 12 points. That kind of showed you how good JVR has been playing, and as of right now, he does lead the team in points. So again, really good second, and again, to start this period, you have to expect the Islanders to bring a push. What do the Flyers do? They put that fourth line out there, and they didn't really do anything. They couldn't really keep the puck in the zone. What happens? Islanders go down, and they cut the lead to 1. 3-2, pressure from the Islanders, as I said, at 18:57, Bailey tip, off of a point shot from Polak. Just what they needed very early in this period. Needed that goal to cut the lead to 1, and they got it. Jake Voracek gave Polak way too much time to shoot. Bailey set up shop, tipped it right by Moose. Really nothing he could do there. It looked like there was a body or two in front, and again, it's just not what you wanted to see. A minute and 3 seconds into this period. Fourth line pressure for the Flyers there for the goal. It was either not the next shift, I believe the shift after AV sent the fourth line right back out there. Patrick ends up getting boarded here by Polak. And no call. I didn't really understand that. I kind of thought that would have been a penalty. Maybe a hit from behind, boarding, whatever, something like that. No call. And that's a play where Patrick goes down. He's like holding his face and everything. So that's not something you want to see, especially with all the migraine stuff that's been going on. He was on the bench, stayed on the bench. He was right back out there next shift. Barzal ends up scoring here. This is such a play where it's like, oh my God, because Hag sends an absolute headhunter that goes around the glass. Braun misses it, and Lee skates all the way down. Voracek and Giroux are pretty much just looking at the play, leaving Barzal wide open in the slot. Nothing Elliott can do. Slam dunk, tie game, and they have 2 goals on their last 3 shots. And right then and there, the 2-goal lead is gone. So at that point, it's like, come on, guys. You had a 2-goal lead to start this period, and you give up 2 goals on 3 shots. Giroux and Voracek just let Barzal pretty much go there. It's when I watched the replay, I didn't really see Voracek in the play. I was kind of just focused on Barzal. I was like, where is Barzal at? And I see Giroux. I'm like, what was G doing there? And I kind of go back and rewind, and I'm like, oh my God. The 2 of them missed him. So, again, not a very bad defense in this period that leads to that goal. It's an unfortunate play, too, because it hopped over Braun's stick, and I was like, oh, out of all guys, it had to be Braun because Braun's pretty slow, and it was just a whole mess. Islanders get a power play, and this is just so aggravating because there was at least 2 or 3 calls that they missed on the Islanders. It's just a complete couple cross checks on Gostisbehere right at the bench. No call. There was a couple holds, hooking, nothing. They don't call anything, and the Islanders get a power play. Flyers kill it off. Pretty good kill. Flyers were pretty much playing like the last 6 minutes of this period like they were just trying to get to overtime. It didn't really seem like they were trying to force anything. Sorokin absolutely robbed Giroux late. Great passing play, 3-on-2. Voracek over to Patrick. He sent it right away to G. And it looked like it was just a straight pad save. Might have hit his skate, but still, unbelievable save from Sorokin. Had 2 great saves in this game, the one on Voracek and the one on Giroux. Overtime again. We go into 3-on-3. Back and forth zone time for both teams. Islanders were kind of pressing a little bit. They take a penalty. Barzal, high sticks, Lawton. Now, this is like the weirdest thing because I believe it was Polak had an unbelievable chance, just wide open slap shot. Moose makes the save. Another shot from, I believe it was Pelech. Moose saves it again. It's like he just saved you right there. And again, 2 great saves from Elliott. Flyers go down. They set it up. Hayes ends up getting the goal. He shoots it on net, save. Giroux picks it up, sends it right back to him. JVR with the screen in front, and Hayes scores high on the glove side to give the Flyers the 4-3 win and the extra point in this one. So again, overall, this was a good game from the Flyers. Again, rough third period. You let them kind of come back into it. But again, you pick up 4 points in a back-to-back situation. Shots on goal at the end of this game were 36-29 in favor of the Islanders. Face-offs, 51% for the Flyers, 49% for New York. And the hits were 19-15 in favor of the Islanders. Blocks were 11-8 in favor of New York. And the giveaways were 12-6 in favor of the Islanders as well. So again, Farabee gets his hat trick, breaks a record since 2006. Hayes ends up winning it. I believe the Flyers are 26-1-1 when Kevin Hayes scores a goal. That's an unbelievable record to see, especially when Hayes scores. And again, this was I thought it was a good game from the Flyers. Again, rough third period. They kind of took them a little bit to settle in. Moose kept them in the game early. They kind of go into the second, really good second period. And again, now you have 2 days off here. I would assume that the Flyers are most likely going to be off tomorrow, and then they'll probably practice on Tuesday since they have a game Wednesday night at 8 o'clock at home against the Boston Bruins, who you definitely want to come back against now since you just got smoked by them last Saturday, 6-1. So again, pretty good game tonight from the Flyers. Let me know your guys' thoughts below, any kind of things you took away from this game. And again, the Flyers, they finished off the month of January 7-2-1 in a month where, not their best hockey, but again, tied for first place right now. Again, can't really complain. So let me know your guys' thoughts below. Remember, guys, podcast articles, those links are on my channel. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you guys in the next one, and goodbye.